aims to understand and then be able to predict where people look when they look at photographs. So one of the most fundamental questions that I get all the time is, where do people actually look? The answer to that is actually quite involved. It depends on the image, and it depends what our task at hand is. But there are some reoccurring themes that I see over and over again. The first one is that people look at faces. Here's where one person looked when looking at this image. And this is where 15 people look. Clearly, they're not looking at anything else. And once again, nothing else seems to be interesting. People also look at faces when they're not so obvious, like when they're sideways. Or when they're blurry. Or when hidden completely from view. Or when they're animal faces. Or when they're artificial representations like sculptures or pictures. And here, my favorite of all, even when it is blurred and hidden and not human. Wait a second. Play that again. People look where the face is supposed to be, even though it's completely hidden and actually blurry. There's clearly some semantic understanding of the image that happens really fast in the brain as it affects where people look first. Rather than looking at a place in this image because it's a bright color or it's an unusual brightness, which would be considered bottom-up effects, we're actually looking at a place that we consider to be interesting because of what it is. So we know this is an animal, and his head and face are supposed to be there. So this semantic understanding that influences where we look is called top-down effects. It's one of the hardest things to model with a computer, and is one of the primary reasons that computers still have a very hard time predicting where humans will look. We're working on improving that though. More on where people look in the next video.